Okay, hold on. We gotta wait until YouTube gets fixed. All right, a good vach. I see Gary. Are you in MDY or that's just an illusion? It's unbelievable. Our boys' side. This is our last night or day that we are recording from my dining room. Be'ezer Hashem. Hopefully it lasts. La'olam vad. No more magevas. This is the last time. We are continuing with Zoom. Gary put up a 75-inch screen TV in the base medrash, right across from where I sit. I'm going to see everybody. I told them it's not large enough, so we're going out to buy maybe even a larger. Each person is going to be a real participant in this year, and we're going to a second screen as well. But all he had time to do is one screen, so we're incorporating Zoom Be'ezer Hashem as technology for the long haul. Nothing to do with Corona. So we learned one good thing at least from Corona. Everybody learned different things. We learned we could adapt. We could do shiurim. Zoom is even better than YouTube. The Olam feels that they're participating, and Be'ezer Hashem they're going to be on. So today is 45 days in Daima, right? 6 weeks and 3 days. A good chodesh, a good tevach. I didn't look at my emails yet, but we'll just take from the top, whatever's here. Avi Haruni, I don't know, something like that. Hi Rebelli, I just want to say thank you for the shir you give. I'm a bachar who started Daf Yomi, the cycle. Oh, I thought I liked the kids in the bachrim, that they're learning Shas. It's going to be great. They'll finish Shas at a very young age. And since I got back from yeshiva, I listen to your shir almost every night. I wish I could do Zoom, but I do YouTube since I could pause and understand better. Another thing that I saw from people, and I do Rashi. Thank you so much. I understand much better from the shir than Art Scroll. Wow. He understands better from the shir than Art Scroll. A bacher in Los Angeles. Here's from Jesse Norris. I noticed that we have a lot of yeshiva guys that watch, but they don't like to use technology and emails. So we don't have. So if you're a starky yeshiva guy, send us some emails. Go onto your neighbor's thing and send us something. Dear Rebelli, what is this about? Let me think if I could read this even. Yeah, okay, fine. Oh, but poor guy, he's not going to hear this because he lives in Buffalo. Thank you so much for your amazing shir. I've been listening every day since I switched from another shir sometime early in the lockdown. You really have a knack. I'm just laughing. That other person's loss, my gain. You really have a knack for making learning fun and easy to understand, even for someone like me without a yeshiva education. I just have a quick comment about something you said. If I understood correctly, you suggested in shir yesterday, Shabbos daf ayin vav, that whole grain bread is not a chashav food for yid to eat. I just wanted to point out that both the Rambam and the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch state that white flour with all the bread removed is not healthy, and one should generally only eat whole wheat bread or bread made from flour that still has some of the bran source are here, and it gives me the sources. Kol Tuv and Good Shabbos, Yishai from Buffalo. I knew I was going to touch a nerve there. I was messing with the health guys. Why not? It's fun. And then you get these emails. I got an email from a guy from YU. He's like, you put the YU folks down. I wear tchelas, and you said that they're not chosh. He made something up. So he forced me to go back to Daf Ayin Vav at minute 10:50. That's where I spoke about it. And I didn't say anything like that. Adarabba. I said the YU is, I commended YU that they don't have a problem wearing tchelas, and the circles that I dreizach in is a problem. I hold the tchelas and I have a problem wearing it, and in those circles they don't have a problem. It was great. I said a compliment. He took it as it's crazy. Whatever you say, you get anything you say, literally. Okay. Baruch Hashem, nobody told me anything about the story I said yesterday. One guy came over. Where is he? Is he here? He said, he said it over at Shabbos. Some other guy sent me an email that he also said it to his family. But besides, nobody stuck me out yet. We're waiting. Okay. What is this? Should I read one more? One more. He's okay. Hold on. Let's see if there's any. Here's a guy. I'm not going to mention the guy that stuck me out from YU, but here's our favorite friend. I was wondering where he was. Remember, feel the burn, burning, feel the burn. Stuck me out. He called me a balgaiv and everything. It was great. So now, still enjoying your 8-minute daf. I truly appreciate how hard you must work on it. I'm sure it's very time consuming, and I love your most pleasant demeanor as you give it with nice smiles here and there, along with asking how we are all doing. So that's a little bit of, he's burning the burn. He likes to shtach, like to give me a little musser. It's good. Because basically he's saying that the 8-minute daf, I'm very serious and I have this frown. And so he says, it's good when I say, how are you all doing? Your face is much less intense. And I even noticed some half smiles on the 8th daf. This is a different email. And now, thanks for reading my shtach email last week. B'kitzur, there's a series of shtach, burning, feel the burn. But upon him, he says that he sees some half smiles on the 8th daf. So that's great. And I guess that's it. I don't know. Should we do another one? Pesach Waxman here. He's online. Nice. I read this already, I think. I'm not going to read this one from Esther Lowy. Oh, Shoshana Kessler. Why not? Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have... No, I can't read it. I can't read it because I mentioned her name. She said not to mention. It was about her husband, but okay, I'm not going to mention. Next. Fine. I have to be more prepared to read these emails. We'll go weiter. Says the Heilige Gemara. Last shir, Bezer Hashem, we have to daven. Last time we're doing, I don't know, when I came, did anybody feel like I came into the Beis Medrash? I was very emotional, and I made a classic, a rookie mistake. After davening, nobody said Kaddish. I said, I'll say Kaddish. I said Kaddish, and I started crying in front of everybody. So I'll know for next, well, there won't be a next time. A classic rookie mistake for me. All right, I was pretty emotional. I'm sure everybody was emotional coming to Beis Medrash first time in 2 months, over 2 months, and seeing during Kodesh and seeing the Sefer Torah is unbelievable. Anyway, Zogdio, this is in America also. I hear they're starting to do minyanim now, but you guys in South Africa is a different story. Shemen kedei losoch ever. We'll just go back a few lines. I know we learned this, so we'll speed through it just to get to the main sugya here. It's a short sugya, but it's kedai to go through it. Daf ayin zayin amid beis. Shemen kedei losoch ever cotton. So it says in the Mishnah that oil, how much oil are you chayv and itzah? So every item we see, every item is a different amount. Depending on what you do with the item, gives it chashivas, that's the amount. So it says in the Mishnah, enough oil so that you could anoint a small limb. It's a small limb, meaning one joint of a finger. If this is your finger, pick this little part of a little baby. Now it happens to be that my grandchild, his small joint, this big, is the size of a superhuman finger. So I don't know, a typical baby. No, his father's sitting right here, so he knows what I'm talking about. Fine. So we're referring to the smallest limb of a smallest human being called a katan. That's how much oil. Meisvei, but I have a question. Shemen kedei losach ever katan. It says the smallest limb of a small baby, and then it says vikatan ben yoimai. So it seems like it's two separate things. So you have to say kedei losach ever katan means a limb of a large person. Vikatan ben yoimai. My lav ever katan the gadol, a small limb of a big person, ve'ever gadol, and a large limb, let's say a baby's thigh, shall katan ben yoimai. So and that would be basically the same shear. So you hear what's going on here? So think for a second. This tiny part of an adult, of a 20-year-old. So I don't know, what is this? 3/4 of an inch. Let's call this an inch. And a thigh of a newborn baby. How big is a thigh of a newborn baby? I'm going to hope it's more than an inch. I don't know. I'm thinking like 3 inches, let's say. So why is the Gemara saying it's the same size? So you have to explain, because an adult's skin is much tougher. So in order to anoint it, it needs a lot of oil compared to a baby's skin. So it's the same shear. It's the same amount of oil. What you need to anoint the 3-inch baby thigh is the same amount as a 1-inch adult finger. Yeah, Mati? I see you're scratching your head over there. Fine. So perhaps there's a machlokes tanoi. So again, Rabbi Yanai says, it doesn't mean it's two separate things. It doesn't mean we're talking about an adult and a child. We're talking about a baby. That's it. One thing, the smallest aver of a baby. So it's not an inch. Now we're talking about 1/4 of an inch. Whatever the small pinky, the one joint of a pinky. Okay. So what does Rabbi Yanai say? We're talking about the smallest limb of the smallest human being. Says the Gemara, perhaps the Machlekes Tanoim. I think this is where we finished off on Friday. So Reb Shimon ben Elazar says two things. A small limb and a baby. So we have to understand what he means. Reb Nosson Omer, K'dei losuch eiver katan. A small limb. My love, perhaps this is the machlokes. Reb Shimon ben Elazar savar eiver katan shel katan. Perhaps Reb Shimon ben Elazar means the small limb of a small baby. He's saying one thing, and that would be just like Reb Yanai. Reb Nosson savar eiver katan de gadol. Either a small limb of an adult, let's call it 4 times the size of Shitas Reb Yanai, or eiver gadol de katan, or like the thigh of a baby, but not the pinky of a baby. So much larger shear. So it's machlokes. Aval eiver katan shel katan ben yom eloi. Okay, but nothing to do with eiver katan shel katan ben yom eloi. But that's machlokes. So at least Reb Yanai has who to go with. Says Gemara eloi. The kuli alme eiver katan de katan ben yom eloi. Perhaps Reb Yanai doesn't go like anybody of this brisa. The less of the Reb Yanai, nobody holds like Reb Yanai. Top of ayin chesam dalaf. Reb Shimon ben Elazar savar eiver katan de gadol ve'eiver gadol de katan be'yom ki hadodininu. Says Reb Shimon ben Elazar, the small eiver katan de gadol, the smallest limb of an adult, ve'eiver gadol de katan, and like we said before, the limb, the thigh of a baby, ki hadodininu. So we're not talking about the small pinky of the baby, rather we're talking about the large limb of the baby. We're talking about the thigh of the baby according to the Shita. The Shita that we said before goes like Rabbi Yanai, doesn't say like Rabbi Yanai. Reb Nosson savar eiver katan de gadol in eiver gadol de katan beyomer loy. And Reb Nosson holds that a small limb of a large person, yes. In other words, pinky, eiver gadol de katan beyomer loy. But nothing to do the thigh of the baby not. The Kitzur Reb Yanai doesn't say like anybody according to this pshat in the brisa. So we might have 3 shitas according to this. Might have a law, but at the end of the day, what's the bottom line? Tashma, the Sanya Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, not true like we just try to push it off. In fact, Reb Shimon ben Elazar does say exactly like Reb Yanai. That what? Shemen kedei losuch eiver katan shel katan ben yoimai. So Reb Shimon ben Elazar says just like Reb Yanai, we're talking about enough oil in order to anoint the smallest joint of a tiny baby. So in other words, the smallest part of the pinky. Great. Next sugya. Mayim k'dei loshu bem es hakilar. Very interesting. I don't know if we noticed it while we were reading the Mishnah. All these liquids in the Mishnah are basically revius. Revius. There's some exceptions. So when it comes to a cup of water, which reminds me I have to drink a little bit, how come this is not a revius? This should be, I'm chai when I go out into Rosh Hashanah with a revius. What's going on YouTube? Something's wrong? What happened? Oh, interesting. It was off. Okay. Fine. So, I hope it didn't ruin everything. There's always this issues on Motzei Shabbos. Well, from tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, we're going to have our regular camera. Gary, don't forget the big camera. We're going to have a guy in the camera. It's going to be good. It's not going to have these things behind me, which I don't even have today. I didn't have time to present. By the way, Yosef, was there a sponsor today? I hope there wasn't a sponsor. You said, he says Barach. Okay. I didn't have time. It's too much pressure. But Be'ez Hashem, when we have the new camera, the sponsor goes on the screen and everybody sees it anyways. It doesn't have to be behind me and I don't have to deal with it. So the question is, how come when it comes to water, this is what everybody drinks, the chashivas of water is revius? It's not. So that's what the Gemara is going to deal. It says the Mishnah, how much water? A tiny amount, enough to put into the paste that you put on your eye, some sort of ointment. So obviously it's not a revius. It's a couple of drops. That's the amount that if you take out into Rosh Hashanah, you're chayiv. Omar Abayo, michti kol milsa. So now he says a big yisoid Abayo. This is the yisoid. Michti kol milsa de shchicha v'lo shchicha. If you have something that has a common usage and a non-common, what do people typically do? So for instance, water, people typically drink it. That's the most common usage. occasionally, some person that has a disease, he'll put a couple drops of that water into his keeler. But that's 1 out of 1,000,000, right? For every 1,000,000 cups that people drink, one person puts a couple of drops in the keeler. So you have shchicha, v'lo shchicha. What do you do in such a case? Azur rabbanon basar de shchicha lekula. So they take the most common usage, let's say in our case, drinking water, that's a kula, right? To say that you're not chayiv if you go out into a restaurant with 2 drops. You're only chayiv if you go out with a whole cup of water. That's a kula. The larger the shear, that's the bigger kula. Nu, so that's the Gemara is going to address right away. So if sosakum water, you go, everybody admits that drinking water is the big shchiach here. And putting it into your medicine is the not shchiach. And Rabbi just said if you have a shchiach and a not shchiach, you go with the shchiach. So it should be a full revius. That's the Gemara's question in a second. But if you have 2 usages that are common, you can do 2 things with the same thing. Then the Rabbanon pick the one that's more chamor, the smaller shear. So let's say, going back to water, let's say it was just as common to put water into makeup, into ointment, whatever it is, kilar, as it was to drink. Then Chachamim would pick the smaller of the 2 shiurim, which is the kilar. Okay? If they were both shechiach. But they're not shechiach at this point. Yayin. So let's go through some examples. What's the shear of yayin in the Mishnah? Not a revius, but a quarter of a revius, right? Enough that if you could add 3/4 of a revius of water, you dilute it and you drink. So what's the shear? A quarter of a revius. It's very common to drink wine. You don't use it for medicine that much. So therefore, according to what Abai just said, if the shchiach and not shchiach, you go with the shchiach even though it's a big kula. I'll give you a quarter of revius, which is a lot more than a couple of drops that go into kila. Chalav, again, people, the Gemara calls milk eating. You eat milk. It's very common. And what's the shear in milk? Kedei legima. A mouthful, a gulpful. Again, people don't like to use milk in that keeler. So I give you the larger shear. Dvash, very small shear for dvash. Enough to put on a wound. Not that much. Oh, here we have a case that it's just as common to eat honey as it is to use for a wound. So what are you doing? You have 2 shchiachs. You use the smaller shear, the chumrah shear. That's why in the Mishnah it says you go with the makkah, not with whatever it is that you eat. Eating would probably be, I don't know, gregaris, whatever it is. No, you go with the small amount that you put on your wound. We have to understand water. Everybody drinks water, no matter what. You have to drink water. How often do you put it in a keeler? Very unoften. So then why is it that when you have a shchiach and a loy shchiach, in this case we don't go like Abaye, we do the loy shchiach, we take the small amount of keeler. Amar Abaye, so he comes to like answer himself, unless I have to see on the side, I forgot to look on the side. No. I thought they're going to take out Abaye. But Glila Shanu. According to Rashi, Glila is a very poor place. And therefore what? Therefore, they don't use wine, they don't use milk, they're poor. They use water. So it's very common. But it's still nothing as close as drinking water. What do you see from here? You see from here that doesn't have to be equal in commonality. I don't know if that's a word. It is. Okay, it is. It's a pro. It doesn't have to be as common. Yes, it's 1,000,000 to 1, but it's very shchiach. This is the Rishonim speak out. Since people use it all the time, obviously not as much as drinking water, memela, that's considered shchiach versus shchiach, and then I go with the smaller shear called the drops of kilar. Rava says, no, I don't have to say push it in a doichak into one place called Golul. By the way, Tosis says Golul is a rich place. Fine. Rava says, no, it applies everywhere. Kiddush Shmuel, Kol Shakyone Masu. All these liquids work on this kilar, umitalei. But they leave a small film of whatever. It's hard to see. Once you use wine, put wine in your eye, not a very good idea. Why they do that, I don't know. If they have water, I'm not sure why. Maybe Rabbi Shomer has some sort of pshat. Why would somebody waste wine on kilar when he has water, unless he didn't have water, and it's worse than water. It ruins your eye. I don't know. Now I'm going to get 5 emails explaining me why. Maybe they didn't have water in those days. It's just hard. Maybe they came across wine easier than water. That's what he's probably going to tell me, Rabbi Shlomo. You have to go all the way to the thing and fill it up, and they used it for other things. They had other purposes for wine came easy to them, maybe. I don't know. It's much better to use water. It doesn't leave a film over your eye. So great, so you use it. And Mela becomes shchiach versus shchiach, and that's why. So you want to know why the shear of water is so small, even though most people drink? Because it's as if it's shchiach. So many people use this kilar, and they only use it with water across the world because it doesn't leave a film. Therefore, it becomes shchiach. Shchiach versus shchiach. I always go with the more chomer shear, which is the smaller shear. We're holding a new sugya. Rabbi Isai, smack in the middle of the page. So if you're spacing it out with this whole water, ever cutting the gadol, the cutting. Now you can wake up. New sugya. Meshakol, I'm asking Bervias, and all other liquids are revias. Torah Dam v'chol mine mashkin bervias. So when it comes to blood, being chayv and itzah on blood, revias. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, dam kedei likchol ba'ayin achas. Enough to put it in one eye, to put like smear some sort of ointment there. Shekain koichalim livarkis. If a person has some sort of like protrusion from his eye, he'll put in this koil. Umayninu. And what kind of blood? Domet tanagolas bara. Oh, found this picture from Nida Daf Nun. One of my favorite birds. It's common, not very common, but this bird is found in Eretz Yisrael. In Hebrew, it's called the duchifat, and it's a beautiful bird. In English, it's called a hopi or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's called, according to one pshat, a wild chicken. That's what the Gemara calls it. So if I had that, didn't ruin it. Okay. That's the Baruch Hashem. Great. But when we're in the base medrash with our sophisticated camera, we won't have the pizza guy calling that camera. We're in Gullus. Rabbi said, we're in Gullus. What are you going to do? The last night of Gullus, Be'ezer Hashem. He called 3 times. Obviously, he doesn't know where we live. Why? Because that's all my 2 boys eat. Literally. Pizza. Zehu. So people thought I was joking, so I go eat by them on Shabbos, and they make for my kids. But meat he's going to eat. No, they don't eat meat. But cholent? No. So what? Pizza. Not gefilte fish? No. And what about, no, not 0. What?
Not so true.
They ate by you. What did they eat? No, you tell them.
Borekas.
They did not eat a burekas. No. Not Luzzy. I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Luzzy told me he wants to try pacha.
Yeah, okay. He also told he's going to Marava. Fine. Zog the Gemara, it's just, that was between me and Avi. Pacha, yeah. And talking about pacha, I'll just tell you nothing to do with anything because my niece, the day, like a couple of days after she got married, she went to my brother-in-law's partner. Baruch Hashem, they're okay. And the partner gave pacha. How do you say pacha if nobody knows what pacha is? You guys know what pacha is. Everybody knows what pacha is, right? And she's like, gala, very good, gala. And he said, listen, if you eat this pacha, $5,000. So she ate pacha. He gave her $5,000. Anyway, I wouldn't do it. I don't know about you guys. 5,000. People pay $5,000 for pacha. You give me, forget about it. Cataract, You put a little bit of this blood, geschmack. Umayniu, dama de chrushtina. So Rashi says, what's a chrushtina? Atalef. I think atalef means a bat. But for whatever reason, I looked in the art scroll, he says it's a mole. I like the mole better because it's a cooler picture. This is a mole. Okay? Not sure why the art scroll went away, unless I just don't know what atalef is. He says in French, talpa, talpe. Unless talpe is, I have to look it up. Talpe might be a mole. I don't know. But in Hebrew,
also says it's a mole.
who?
Mesivta.
Interesting. So where do they get it from? Because Rashi says atalef. Not sure.
Yeah, Rashi says that it's atalef and he brings some name which means a
Talpe, talpe. That's what I'm saying. Talpe. Okay, fine. Maybe exactly. That's what I'm saying. Maybe talpe just means mole, and he used it like a different way of saying. Okay, great. So it was a good thing I printed this mole. A mole. These are these animals that I think they're blind. You see, he doesn't even have eyes. They dig in your backyard kind of thing, and they're. Yeah. You know why? Because he says later. No, I thought the raya is from the next Rashi, but it's not. Okay, we'll see in the Gemara. So he says, "Umayniu dama de chrushtina b'simanach gava legava bar lebar." The one that hangs outside, you do, which is that bird. The bird flies around. The duchifat flies around. So you use that blood for a protrusion that protrudes outside of the eye. The cataract, which is inside the eye, needs blood for something that's inside. So l'chayr, that's why he says mole, because what do you call it? A bat flies outside also. There's no difference between a bat and a duchifat. So it has to be. Everything makes sense now. So even though Rashi says that talef, you're forced to say a talef means a mole because moles go underground into your house and they're more indoors. Great. Now everything makes sense. Thank you. V'simano gav legava bar lebar b'medvar mamurim b'moitzi al matznia kolshu chayav. The Gemara is going to explain. If you are hiding this, whatever it is, then even if it's a small amount, you're chayav. The Gemara will explain why, how. Because just because you hide something, you're chayav. We're talking about eitzah. If you bring something out into Rosh Hashanah, you're chayav. Hiding, you're not chayav. Reb Shimon oimer b'medvar mamur b'matznia al moitzi and chayav elo b'revius. So this we could understand a little bit. Somebody that is used to hiding something that for him it's important, he puts it away, then he's chayiv. But a regular guy off the street, as we described many times, that you have a tissue, he likes tissues, dirty tissues, he hides it. That's his problem. But you, by taking his dirty tissue and taking it outside, you're not chayiv. Eller b'revius, only if it's a full revius. Taking out wastewater. I mean, we're talking about in those days again. It just brings us back home. We have to appreciate the toilets that we have, the things that we have. They were constantly busy taking out shoifchim, taking out wastewater. How much wastewater you chayiv if you bring it to Rosh Hashanah and Shabbos? Sheshiyurim b'revius. But listen, even shoifchim, it has to be something important. What's important about wastewater? The Gemara will tell us. So we have to explain. Omar Mar always means, let's go back a few lines to what we just said and let's break it down. Only the person that takes it out, but the person that hides it is chayiv on a nothing. Or something. What's going on here? You have to say that the guy hiding is the guy taking it out into Rosh Hashanah also, because he wouldn't be chayiv just for hiding it. So why is one different than the other? Let me explain to you what's going on here. A teacher tells his student, go make me some room here. And he goes and he makes him room. If what he took outside into Rosh Hashanah, his Rebbe didn't tell him to go into Rosh Hashanah, he decided to take it outside to the storage facility, and that's going through Rosh Hashanah. If it's davar chashuv, everybody agrees that this is something important. Chayiv elavei. Great, that's pasha. Now davar sheini chashuv lakol. But if it's an object that nobody cares about, iyatznei rabbe, if his rebbe hit it, mechayiv elavei. Why? So what if his rebbe hit it? So there's a line in Tosfos all the way at the end of Taisvus Dur Maska Otam Atzniya, the center of Taisvus, all the way at the end. The Chaygav Nikulama Moedish HaTalmud Oisa HaKol Das Rabbi. Because he's a Talmud. So whatever his Rebbe does, he does. That's why it says a Rebbe and a Talmud here. He goes after his Rebbe. And if his Rebbe hides these kind of things, he also goes with it. And therefore he's Chayev. V'loi lo mechayev. Now, according to other Rishonim, I think it was the Rashba, it's not because it's a Rebbe. It's because we're going like that Shita, like Reb Shimon ben Elazar, that I'm machshavit. Once the Rebbe is machshavit, then the whole world is chayev on it. He could do that. What is up with Motzi Shabbos? I don't know what's going on here. Motzi Shabbos, 100 people. 100. Not one more. As if like the program is not allowing us to get over. Last Motzi Shabbos, I think also. Fine. It's the same 100 people maybe.
It was above 100 a couple times tonight.
Oh, okay. Omar Mar. Okay, one guy went off. Stop to shtach me. Shkoyach. Thanks. Appreciate it. Omar Mar. Moed v'chacham l'Reb b'moitzi shoyvchem l'shusaram sheshurim b'revius. Chachamim agree that the shir is revius. The question is shoyvchem l'maychazu. You can't just be chay. We said taking out dirty tissues, taking out dirty water, taking out something that's not choshev. Everything has to have a chashivas and a function in this world. Everything that we described so far has a function. I could use honey to put on a wound. I could use this for that, as we're going to see in the next Mishnah. How much is a string? How much is it this? Every object has what are you going to do with dirty water? Bathroom water. I'm going to make clay from it. I'm going to use it in the clay. Oh, so Rabbi Schoenberg is going to shake his head. Here, you see? They didn't have water. They needed to use the last drop. You're going to schlep new, fresh water from the lake, 20 minutes on my shoulder. I'm going to use, if this is the water, it has a lot of chashiv, I will use it for my cement. That's it. They didn't have sinks. They didn't have, everything by us. Are you going to use dirty water? Of course not. In those days, yes. For legabo misatit. V'tanyo tit kidei lasis ben pikur. Now, this is very important to understand what's going on here. Without a picture, I don't know how you understand it so well. So thanks, Yoni. You see this? This is a kur. This round thing over here, this is some sort of oven that you make stuff in it. Now, you see this guy? He has a mapayach in his hand, like the guys on the mangal when they make a barbecue. They're waving their thing. You need to introduce oxygen into here. So he has a tiny hole right over here. This hole right over here. That's the pikur. Enough clay to make this hole just right so this device fits in there. Okay, that's how a tiny amount of clay. Not enough clay to make the whole kur. Enough clay just for this tiny hole. I don't even know if you could see it. You see that hole right there. Says the Gemara. So it's less than a revius. I don't need a revius. Why? Who told you a revius? Lo kasha. Hadimi gabel. If it's already needed, you already have clay. So then the shear is much smaller. I already have enough clay that I could go out and make a nice little hole. Hadalei megabel. And when you didn't make the clay yet, so how much water are you chayiv? That is already. By the way, I have to stop for a second. I just got distracted. If you look on your screen, I don't know if you could see, Nachman Seltzer's kid is over there, Ari. And you look behind Ari, there's a fan flying around. I was just talking to Avi about it because Nachman Seltzer was on Torah Anytime the other day, and he was sitting in that seat, and the fan was going like this. I said it was a terrible video. But I'm looking at Ari now. I call him Super Ari because he's wearing a cape today to shul. So the kids are, no, I just got to see, I saw him on there and I saw the fan. That's mamish, 20,000 people saw it on Torah Anytime, that fan. Anyway, so Zok the Gemara, that you're not going to go, if you need a revius. Why a revius? Because you're going to start making clay. Who's going to start making clay? It's a big mess to make clay. So if it's a chashav amount, it's a whole revius, great. And if I already have the clay, great. But to say that I'm going to make a tiny amount of clay, I'm going to get my hands dirty just to make this small amount of clay, that doesn't happen. That's why the shear of water is much larger. So if, Nachamal, inside, Like kasha, hadami gabel. If it's already made, then it's a smaller shear because I already have it. Hadalei megabel. But if this clay isn't made, I need the whole revias. Levishein adam tereach legabel tit lasis bikur. And we're going to see this Yisayid a number of times now, in the next few daf. Maybe in the whole Masechta. This is I think the first time maybe that we had it, maybe not, I don't remember. But the idea that I'm not going to be matriach for the small amount. A large amount, yes. Okay. Says the Mishnah, Hamoitzi chevel. What can you do with a string? Kidei lasis oizen lekupa. I believe I have a picture here somewhere. Yeah. So we have two things in the Mishnah coming up, one after another. The one in the basket right over here, that's a long string. Compared to this guy, this is gemi. Some sort of rubbery stuff, whatever. So what can I do with the string? I can make a handle for my basket. Gemi, what can I do with gemi? To make some sort of loop, so I can hang my sifter on the wall. Yeah? In those days, they didn't have a shoe store. You go in and you try all the shoes. So what do? You take a string and you go from side to side on your kid's foot, and you go to the guy with the string, you say, here, make me a shoe like this string. Shalom. You give him one string. So how big is a shear of this string? The amount that you're going to use on your small kid's foot. So if your kid's foot is about this big, so the string is that big. Now we have more of an idea of what it looks like today. The size of a small foot. Niyar, in other words, so say small foot, but no, but we're trying to say, what can you do with this rope? What can you do with the string? What purpose does a small string have? You can't tie down an animal with it. Yeah, you could measure something with it, and that saves you a whole trip. You don't have to bring your kid to the store. You just take a measurement and you bring it to the guy. Niyar, what do you do with a piece of paper made out of grass? Rashi says, the receipt from the tax guy. That's why I didn't want to make a whole thing, but if you look closely here, something like this. Tax paid. So I need a little piece of paper that says that. But basically we're talking about you're on a bridge, you're going through the bridge, it's a tollway. And the guy's on the tollway, and he says, pay your taxes, you give him a little bit of a toll, and he gives you a thing. Now if somebody stops you, if a cop stops you on the way, you pull it out and you say, look, I paid. This is a question, why does he even have to say it? Pashut. If you're going to carry it, you're chayev. So now, he's going to explain. Yeah? Somebody wants to say something? No.
It's only 2 letters, this thing.
I know. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. We're going to get into the whole sugya. Forget about it. You're right. It's 2 letters in those days. In nowadays, you have to say, because we're shaitan, we have to say, what is it? 7. You're right. It's 2 letters. Here, I have a better one. Here, I even made one. Just to show you that I didn't forget this 2 letters. It's 2 letters. What do you do? Sorry, top of Ayin Chesam base. Niar Machok. If you erased from a piece of paper, now once you erase, that's it. You can't. It's not like a pencil that you erase and you can write over and nobody will know. You erase, it's no good, worthless. It does have some sort of purpose. Remember we had in the Mishnah about the Plaiton, the woman would wear this little glass thing that had a perfume, I don't know, glass, silver, it had perfume to mask the smell, body odor. Plaiton, balsam, the perfume, a good smell. So I take this piece of paper and now I can use it over the flask. Or, what do I do with leather? Kedei kameya. So we're all familiar with kameya now. All the stories we had, is kameya mumcha, not mumcha, whole sugya we went through. So what can you do with a small piece of parchment? A kameya. Klaf kedei lichtov olav parshuk tana shebatfilin. So one is a raw piece of leather. This is klaf, like you write. We'll see soon. There's different types. There's klaf, duchsustus, and gvil. Klaf. This is a part of the parchment that we write on it. What do you do with it? Enough to write the smallest of the 4 parshas that you have in Tefillin Shorosh, which is the Parsha Shema Yisrael. Diyoi, what do I do with ink? Enough to write 2 oisiyos, and that we already discussed a few times in the Beis Hamikdash. It's common to write 2 letters on 2 different things. They combine together. You know, this kaira, that kaira, this panel, that panel. Choil. What I do with makeup for the eye? Kedei likchoil ayin achas. Enough for 1 eye. Devek. Kedei litein beroish hashavshof. So I have another yoni thing here. What is this? You want to catch a bird. I'm not saying you should do it, but there are people, hint, hint, you could take a little glue and you put it down, and then the bird gets stuck on it, and you go and you catch it. If you look over here, where is it? Yoni has, right over here, he has a basket on his shoulder. It's a nice drawing, where the other ones he already caught are in there. Yeah. Nothing to do with our sugya, just to make the picture a little nicer. Zefes v'gofers. You have tar and you have sulfur. What's pshat over here? To make a hole. What do you do? What hole are you making? So if you have a jar of zefes and gofers, and then you have a little hole on the bottom in order to let it all out, so then you take the zefes and gofers and you kind of plug it. And you make a little hole, something that could come out slowly, something like that. Charsis, crushed brick, so going back to the pikur, we know what a pikur is, but you need it for, if you're going to make gold, it's a little different. So pitput also, in this picture, it's the legs that this thing is standing on. These guys are pitputs. I don't know if you can see it. You see it has like this thing is standing on 3 legs, so a pitput. Great. Subin, what are you going to do with bran? So again, you're taking the bran, you're putting in there, it'll give you a little fuel. Sid, which is lime. But it's unbelievable. Every object has a shear. Every object. Bekitzer, whatever the function of that object is, that's the shear. You find the function, and that's what people use it for. That's the shear. Girls use this lime as a hair removal. So if you have a young girl or a girl, the smallest limb on her body. So again, it would be like the joint of a finger. This is crazy. I don't know, how does the Mesifta pronounce it? By me, it's pronounced kilkul. It's that you take the lime and you put it on your hair. I don't want to say that you see there's a certain group of people that use it and they think they're cool. They flatten out the hair. It's like greasy and flat. That's kilkul. I guess it was cool in those days. It was in style that the girl should have real flat hair. To put the lime on the forehead, enough for the forehead. Says the Gemara, so going back to this guy, why is this string, as Yoni depicts it pretty well here, it's pretty long. I think it's, I don't know, double the size of this, let's say. So why don't you just say that I use the string to make a loop on my sifter, and I can hang up my sifter? Why is string and gemi 2 different shiurim? Says the Gemara, because it could destroy my sifter. It could scratch it. The rope, the string is made out of coarse material. It'll scratch my sifter. I don't want that. Hutzin, I don't know, in my mind it's like, like what you make from a lulav. These, it's from a palm, you take these leaves and you make something out of it. To make some sort of the end part of the basket when you bend it over, kfifa mitzvahs. Sieve, we always have is that it's the stringy material that you find on a palm tree. Sieve alpi mashpech koton lesanein es hayayin. Acherim, I believe, is referring to a mayor. Yeah, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, see over there what he says. So, but basically, you take a funnel and you're putting wine into the funnel, and you put a bunch of sieve, a bunch of these stringy things in the funnel. Then you pour the wine. So the what is it called? No, the sediment on the bottom. The sediment gets stuck to the sieve, and use it as some sort of sifter. Yeah. Revav, grease. What do you do with grease? They losach tachas espoigin. Ktana. Like a small bread. You butter it up a little bit and you put it on the oven. Kamishur. By the way, buttering up, I believe the Rishonim actually talk about in this sugya about putting oil. You have to be careful what kind of oil you put on your bread, because if you have milchik oil on your bread, and we're talking about Shavuos now, that's aser. You're not allowed to, so there's a whole nida on. I didn't get into it, but I remember there's a whole sugya about how much, a little bit, a lot of bit. Making milchik bread is aser. So just remember that for Shavuos. So, you know what? Scratch that, because I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it in a while. So forget what I said. I'm not taking any chrayas on that. Menachem, was I way off? Where are you?
No, you're not way off. There's a special din of not making milchik bread.
Yeah.
It's making in a specific shape. And that's one of the reasons, if you notice, they make the milchik berekes.
Exactly. The milchik berekes in Israel are in triangles and all that stuff, because you're not allowed. Yeah, right. Exactly. Perfect. Thank you. Exactly. Shkoyach. Okay, whatever. I should have looked at it, but it's neget to this sugya. I think they discuss it here, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Espoigin Tana, but over here you just see in Rashi, they're talking about grease. You take some oil, you put it, how much? Amount that you could grease up the bottom of the bread so it doesn't stick to, when you stick it to the side of the oven, those lafas, they don't stick there, you put a little bit of grease. Vekama shura kesela. It's the size of a coin. Votanya kigurgeres. The flat part of a sela is like a gurigeres. Boichin, katan, how much katan are you taking out into Rosh Hashanah? Kidilasis kadur, ktano. V'chamesh yuroi ke'egoiz. So b'kitzur, you're making a small ball. I believe it's the inside of the ball, because cotton doesn't bounce very well. So you take like, let's say leather, and you fill the leather up with muchin, with cotton. Small, the amount of a walnut. Niyar kedei lichtoi v'olav kesha moichsin. Tano, kama kesha moichsin? Shtei yoisi yois. Menachem pointed out before. Shtei yoisi yois. Can't wait. We're going to be in base marriage. You won't have to click mute. You'll yell at me without anything. It's going to be gevaldik. Kama kesha moichsin shtei yoisi yois. By the way, I made a special request. I didn't ask. I said I need Menachem to be there every day, just to keep me in line. I don't care. We're trying to be very fair to everybody, and we're making a whole list. So if you see Menachem there more than one day in a row, don't be upset. I made that request. I don't want to. I want Menachem there just to keep me true. Because no, if I say the wrong thing, he's very quick on catching me and correcting me, and I don't get insulted from him because I'm used to this, and it's givaldik. No, in Lincolnwood, when I lived in Lincolnwood, the Rav got up one day and he gave a speech, and he said, listen, enough of this fixing the Balkaira. I don't want anybody fixing the Balkaira. There's only one guy that can fix the Balkaira, that's Eli Stefansky, and that's it. You guys are insulting, you guys don't know what you're doing. He's Israeli, but I'm not Israeli, but he thought I was, and he said, he could fix him. Great. So I'm not giving reshus to David Feinberg, where is he over there, to start fixing me. I'm saying he's the official fixer. What? I try. Trust me, I try. That's why the only thing I can do is the Yisiv. I try really. It's very hard to fix you, Menachem. It's not pashut. Listen, when I do, it's Hanog Doilet. It's once every 6 months. I scream it out azay, and I'm mevayish you b'rabim, and it's good. It's like in a cover but it's one time out of 6 months. You got me to 180 days, whatever it is. Not fair. I'll never forget the time you fixed me when I said that when a chicken gets pregnant, and I forgot that chickens lay eggs, I forgot, whatever, there's a busha dikebatzev. There was a few bushas back in the days. Tana, kama kesher moichsim, shtei yoisiyos. So how much? How many letters? Two letters. Rominu hamaitzi ne'ar cholok im yesh boi kedei lichtay shtei yoseis chayav vim lav potter. Hamaitzi ne'ar cholok. If you take out a smooth piece of paper, im yesh boi kedei lichtay shtei yoseis chayav vim lav potter. So over here it says regular letters. It doesn't say anything about these big letters, these moichsim letters. No, so we have to say you're right. It's talking about the same type of letters. They're larger letters. Rav Amar, shtei oises didon, ubeis achiza. Dainu kesher moichsin. So says Rava, I just did this Motzei Shabbos, so ignore the thing. So it's two letters, but I have to have a little bit of a room over here so I could grab onto it. So under the letters, you see, right over here, there's a grabbing space. Versus this, for instance, has nowhere to grab. I don't want to mess it up. I'm going to get the ink all messed up. I have nowhere to grab. Yeah, you're right. So Nachamol. So what's the nafkamina? Here's an nafkamina. These two guys are the same size. You see, they're the same size. Just Rava says that we're not talking about these giant letters. We're talking about normal sized letters, let's say. But I'm giving you a little bit of room to hold it. But the paper, they don't argue. The paper's the same size. That's not the argument. The argument, you see, the papers are the same. Great. If somebody he's over on Shabbos, he takes out a piece of paper that was erased. Ushtar perua. And a document that says that that has no use. Basically, it's already done. He already paid up. If there's enough room on the blank part of the paper, I could write two letters. Or if I could use it, the whole entire paper, if I could use this whole thing to cover something, a battle, then I'm chayiv. In other words, if the paper has usage, chayiv. No use, potter. If we're going according to Rav Sheshes, that we're talking about two large letters, great. Kashya. Says the Gemara, if Rava says that we're talking about two smaller letters, it's the same size paper, but there's a blank over here. But why do I need a blank part? The Gemara just doesn't understand. Why do I need this blank? There's no usage now to hold it. If it's a shtar that's perua, so hold it over here. What's the difference if I hold it on the letters? It's already done. And if it's erased, I certainly could hold it on the erased part. So why are we talking about a funny case where there's a blank part in the bottom? Kasha, good kasha. Tana Rabbana. Hamoitzi kesha moichsin acheloi hero lamoiches chayiv. If I have a receipt which I never showed anybody, I need it because what if I get stopped? So that's a valuable document. A valuable document. You're chayiv. But once I showed it to the toll guy or the tax guy, whatever you want to call it here, it has no value. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore. What am I going to do with it? What could you possibly do with a used receipt? Potter. Again, going back to everything we learned until now. If it has no usage, it doesn't have a function. Potter. No, it has a function. He needs it. My binayu. I need to understand what is going on here. What's the machlokes? What's the logic here? Why would Rabbi Yehuda say he needs it and the Tanakhama says he doesn't need it? Does he need it or he doesn't need it? So we have a number of tirutzim here. Omar Abaye Yike Benayu Rehite Moichsa. There's these other guys, these schleppers, these not the important toll guy, but his mishamshim, whatever you want to call them, his assistants. They sometimes run after people. So if they run after you and they catch you, so either you pull out the receipt, or worse comes to worse, they'll schlep you back to the toll guy. Okay, well, he'll recognize you. He'll know you paid the toll. So nothing happened. So according to Tanna Kama, he doesn't need the receipt anymore. He tosses it out. In the far chance that he's going to get pulled over again, so worst comes to worst, he'll go back 1,000 feet and he'll go to the Moichas guy. But it's not a reason to hold on to it. So it doesn't serve a purpose according to Tanna Kama. But Rabbi Yehuda says no. Nobody wants to go through the trouble of going back to the toll guy. So he is going to hold on to it. That's the machlekes. So there's a big guy, an important guy, a small guy. But Rashi says a very interesting thing here. Rashi says he sends him a text message with a code, and you have to use that code. So according to the Tanna Kama, he has the code. He doesn't need the receipt. So when the smaller guy comes to him, he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's today's code. He says whatever. Rish Chodesh. He lets him go. So you don't need the receipt. Rav Ashi Omar Chad Moichas Benayu. No, there's only one guy. So Rashi says, no, I'm not worried about the guy running after me. I'm not getting pulled over. But in the future, I want to show the government or whatever it is, look at me. I'm a tax-paying, law-abiding citizen. How can I prove it to you? Look at all my receipts. I have all these receipts. Once the other guy sees that you're legit, he'll let you go also. It's in a different place, in a different department. I need these things to show people that I am a guy that pays taxes. So now we have a similar case. Only over here we have 4 pshatim. By the way, I don't know if you're listening, if you're paying attention, but next week we're probably going to have to push the shir to 9:30, not 9:20. So if you're a Motzi Shabbos guy only, remember, keep that in mind. 9:30, I think. We'll discuss it, but because it's getting later and later now. Again, same idea. I have a shtar that I could collect money with. Somebody owes me money, and it says in the shtar he owes me money. So this shtar has a value, it has a function. I take it down to Rosh Hashanah, chayiv. Mishaproi. But once the loiva paid, it serves no function. Same kind of machlokes as we had a second ago. It says no, still chayiv. Why? Same words, my benayu. Where is the point of the machlokes here? Why would there be a machlokes? Why would it either say you need it? Tanna Kama says you don't need it. Omar Rav Yosef, Osur Lashois, 4 pshatim here. One pshat is, Rav Yosef says, Osur Lashois. Now what kind of shtar, who's holding it? We'll see. Most of the pshatim hold. We're talking about the malva here. Osur Lashois shtar perua ikar benayu. The malva is not allowed to hold it. It's also for him. It's the Fneiber. One day he might die, or he'll forget. Something bad is going to come out of this thing by him holding the shtar in his possession. He'll forget that the guy paid him back. His Yerush, his son, doesn't always pay back. He'll start waving the shtar again. Not a good idea. Get rid of it. Destroy it. Now, even the loiva, he doesn't want it. Why doesn't he want it? Maybe he could use it to cover a battle. Explains Rashi. One day, the malva will be in his house. He'll see it on the battle. He'll slip it into his pocket, and he'll produce it again. Nobody wants this thing, so it has 0 value. The malva can't hold it because it's a vera for him to hold it. The loiva doesn't want it because it's dangerous for him. So nobody wants it. It has no value. No value equals no isser to take it out. Well, it's also pata of asur, but you don't get misa for it, whatever. Rabbanan Savri also lashes shtar perua. Review the Sava Mutalash shtar perua. It has value. No, that's not the machlokes. Everybody holds there's an isser to leave a shtar that's already collected. So Rashi says over here, if the loiva admits that he owes money, that he owed money, but the malva doesn't have a shtar, what do you do? Well, the loiva admitted that it's a good shtar, but maybe the loiva paid it. All he said is that was a legitimate shtar. I remember. I wrote a shtar. There was a shtar. I once had a. So. He admits that there was a shtar. He has to. You have to go ahead and make a new shtar. You have to say that's legit. Once he admitted, so it's a good shtar, so it has value, it has function, so you can't take it out. So what's the pshat just in the words? How does it fit into the brisa? There's two cases in the brisa. One case is that he didn't pay it back, and one case is that he did pay it back. So it means if he says, I paid it back, does he have to prove it? Does he not have to prove it? Rava says everybody agrees that the loiv has to be mekayim. Do you have to write a receipt? Tanakama sovar koisim shoiver. Maybe the sovar ain't koisim shoiver. So if I don't have to write the receipt, so it has value as is. Ravashi Omar. So then the question is, so he doesn't write a receipt, and then he took it out. He took out the original shtar. Now he's over with the original shtar. Ravashi Omar b'pnei shetzorch la'arei. So now Ravashi is not talking about the original shtar. We're talking about a new shtar. The shtar that the loiva has that says, I paid up. So what's the isser? What good does it serve him? B'pnei shetzorch la'arei l'bachayv sheni. This guy is a professional borrower. So he's done with this guy. It's a great trick. You go to a guy, you borrow $100, you write a shtar, and then the guy writes you a shtar in return to say, hey, you paid up on time, everything's great. Then you take that document and you go to another person to borrow $1,000. You say, look, I paid up. I even have a shtar that Pliny said I pay. I'm a good borrower. So that's why it has value. Not because he's gonna save himself money. The malva will come to him and he'll produce the shtar. He doesn't need that, but he could use it to borrow money from another. He could go to a bank with it and say, "Look, I'm a legitimate guy. I pay up. I'm good for my money." Look at me. I'm a guy that pays up. Rabbi site tomorrow morning, 7:15, continuing with Zoom, but in the brand new base medrash. Brand new tables. Ooh, they were admired like those tables. So I hope to see everybody there. If you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. Get on the list so we could insert you. Jonathan, I know you haven't been to the Real Base Medrash. I want to see you there, Be'ezer Hashem, Jonathan. And there's a bunch of new guys that are on Zoom. I got to know you on Zoom. Come down to the Base Medrash. Rabbi Isai and Eitan, I'm waiting for that hug. I don't care. Where is he? I think he's on. Eitan is on. You know, you owe me a hug, Eitan. Why is he not reacting? Where is he? Is that just a picture? Yeah, that's a picture. Shem Yirachim. Okay, fine. But Eitan, we'll get to you. Fine. Avi, a shtickle Tehillim, Efsher? No, we'll turn it around to thing. No Tehillim. I'll say Tehillim. Oh. Shiam Alois Mamakim Chusich Hadinoi. מה בלתי שמויו שביס אדינוי כבשו נפשי בויקר שמרים לבויקר ישראל אין אדינוי חסד וביום פידוס ובבדי ישראל מכל אבני סוף חלק בית ישראל נצלו בסוף שביו
But I want to see if they have something like this.
Rabbi Bodenheim, I want to see you come from Gimel, okay? You got to join us. Judah David, Rabbi Yehuda David. Wow, good thing. We remind Rabbi Isai, the official singer of the Daf, is making a wedding at the Reichman's backyard, I think it is, right? And there's different hours for different people. They did a whole thing. Yeah, of course. What's that? Avigdor, don't worry about it. Avigdor, we're team with Zoom. It's going to be the same thing. You're going to be part of the base medrash now. What's that?
Well, you said you were muted when you said it.
I'm not muted. No, I said don't feel bad that we're going back to the base medrash. It's going to be the same platform for you. We're still going to have Zoom. You're still going to schmooze with the guys afterwards. I might not be able to schmooze with you. That's the only difference. What's that?
I said, hopefully I'll come to my brother for Shabbos soon.
Oh, Be'ezer Hashem. Be'ezer Hashem. Can't wait.
Are we crossing the halfway point on the second Shabbos tomorrow?
Yes, we are. Very good.
Nice.
We're also crossing the halfway point in Corona versus non-Corona. In 70 days that we were not in the MDY, I'm not counting the few days that there was only a minion, but 70 days that we didn't have 70 or 80 people there. And it's day 140 in the cycle.
It's a day 140 in the cycle. Wow.
Today is day 140 in the cycle, and it was day 71 that we had to close the MDY to the large seaboard.
Unbelievable. Unreal.
For most of the last day we were there was 10 weeks ago on the Shabbos.
No, so what did we gain out of this whole thing? What do we learn from this whole corona? At the end of the day.
If you are not on the list, you are not allowed to come tomorrow. If you are not on the
Yeshua. Hold on. Did you hear my question, Yeshua?
Asking me, can I come tomorrow? Can I come tomorrow? Can I come tomorrow? If they're not on the list, they can't come.
Ellie, I'll tell you what we learned.
Yeah, what did we learn?
We learned that we have a whole of guys who are watching on YouTube who now have faces, and please God they continue to be faces and real people instead of just a number on the screen. We wondered who were the 30, 40 people watching on YouTube. Now we see faces.
I know. By the way, that's exactly what I said. The Agudas Yisrael asked to send in a video from Maggid Shiurim. What did I learn? And that's exactly what I said. That's what I told them. I said, I gained that I learned who all these people are. There were people that were watching. I had no idea who they were. Not that I learned who all of them are, but many of them have faces now. I learned Yisrael Goldstein and Eli Dykman and all these guys from New York and from all over the world. It's Meshuggah. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. That was a big plus for us. And we gained that the Shir, Be'ezer Hashem, is going to continue with Zoom. We're going to continue, and it's going to be another element of the Shir. They're going to be part of the base medrash. It's very unique. I don't think anybody's doing that. We're bringing a TV into the base medrash. We're bringing those people into the base medrash. They're going to be literally sitting there with us.
Can we not call it a TV? Can we just call it a screen?
It's beautiful.
I just want to say, as one of the people on Zoom, how much I appreciate that, and thank you very much.
Very welcome. Avi, I can't wait for you to meet you in person in the base medrash.
It's a pleasure to be by the Shir, and I should be about to be go there sometime.
When are you coming down to the Shir?
It's a good question. I have to make it up shop or sometime. But, we'll see.
I have the same appreciation when Relly turned to Motzei Shabbos on the 2-year anniversary and said to me, come to this year tonight. You're never going to leave this year if you come. It's going to be the best year you've ever seen. This was Dovi Hurtis Marin. I said, okay, I'll come, but there's a little chance I'm leaving because I don't live here. Well, you found a way to get me not to leave.
What? Who said? I said that to you? I told that to you?
You told that to me. You said, come this year tonight. Come with your brother. You're going to love it. You're never going to leave this year. You're going to be a forever. You're going to stay.
Very humble. Very, very humble. Wow.
Can I ask a favor for everyone, and I might regret this question. Everyone who's listening, can you write something about how us being on Zoom has changed your learning experience during this whole Corona situation?
And once you're at it, you have to write for Mr. Daddy Kornbluth. He wants you to write how the whole Corona affected your Seder.
So go backwards.
Yeah, I just want to interject. I want to interject one other thing. At the beginning of all this, I commented to Yoni Nagler, who often joins us from Staten Island, how it had become apparent to me through YouTube how much of a people person Rabbi Stefansky is.
Ooh.
And how painful this must be for you to be cut off from something that gives you such nava. I am happy that we've made it through that and you can go back to interacting with people. and I think that joy is something everyone
No, this
will be able to feel.
Ishkoyach, but the Zoom thing was amazing. You know, it's really a big savior because to speak, I can't tell you how painful it is. Even with Zoom, it's painful when people, you say a joke and nobody laughs. You don't know if they hate it or they love it. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? There's nothing. When you're in the base measures, you say something, okay, so they're not laughing. At least you know, okay, that was a bad one. But it's talking to yourself. But you know, Zoom really changed the whole thing. The whole dynamic changed with Zoom. It's unbelievable. And maybe we're gonna have to change formats. You know, Baruch Hashem, we didn't get hurt too much from Zoom bombers. But you know, there's other platforms. There's Google. There's all sorts of things we may have to. But it's hard to change technology.
We need virtual backgrounds. Who's going to have virtual backgrounds? Mark?
Avi. What were you saying, Nehemiah? I heard you say something. What were you saying?
No, I'm saying because Google is free and it's only up to 100 participants, which we probably won't get like on Zoom, like I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Google might be better platform than Zoom. Also, no Zoom.
Let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens.
By the way, I had a big fight. I had an argument with Gershon. I told Gershon that we're going to get up to 500 people on Zoom. I told him today. You know, not going to happen. I said, but you also told me we're not going to get to 100. And we got to 100. Like on day one.
When you made the big measures, it was too big.
Yeah. On day one, when we were moving, Gershon was sitting here. He said, what should I get on Zoom? Should I get the free one for 100? Or get the one that you pay money and you can go up to 500. I said, you have to pay money. He said, but we're not going to get 100. I said, we're going to get 100 and I'm not interested in changing the whole thing. Let's do it right the first time. Let's just go. And Baruch Hashem, we beat the 100. We have to get to 500 though, because I don't want to be wrong on this bet with him. And then Noam turned to him and Noam said, you know what happened to the last guy that dared Eli? Be careful. So we're going to get to 500. Mati, you have to go out there and get some people for us. To start recruiting.
If I wouldn't do it, then you would never get the 100.
Oh, you're on. Gershon, you're on. Oh. Yes, okay, you did it B'dafka, you're saying. You're saying you did it B'dafka, I hear. Mati, you saw the video? You saw the Siyum video?
Very, very nice.
It's great. Great. It's a great video. Leon, you saw it? It's good stuff.
Great opportunity now. A lot of guys, a lot of my friends are going upstate tomorrow. They're going up Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And they don't have the daf share, so I sent a bunch of guys a thing. I told them to join. There's a lot of guys going upstate now.
Oh, you see, somebody's recruiting. I knew it was you. Good, Gewaldig. We gotta recruit more. We gotta get to 500 on Zoom. That's the thing. That's the goal.
Ellie, people going up to the country tomorrow for the summer already, so they're just like leaving.
The summer? Why?
You can't work in New York. Everything's closed. So they're going up for Shabbos, going up tomorrow for Shabbos, and then they're staying upstate.
Wow.
The Catskills.
The Goyim hate them. The Goyim are so scared of them over there. Wow. The Jews are coming. Oh, I better turn this off.